You don't need a genius IQ to have a freakishly good memory. Memory champions aren't born with super brains. They build them step by step. And in this series, you'll learn how to do it too. No brain surgery required. Let's be honest. Most people today think they have a bad memory, but it's not broken. It's overwhelmed. You're not forgetting because you're lazy or getting old. You're forgetting because your brain's been hijacked. Between endless notifications, swipe scrolling, and binge-worthy everything, your mind is juggling too much input and storing almost none of it. Here's the deal. Your brain isn't built for the 24/7 info tsunami. It evolved to remember where food was, who was in your tribe, and what animal wanted to eat you. Not passwords, Zoom links, and 27 new tasks by lunch. Even worse, schools rarely teach memory as a skill. They expect you to just remember stuff with no system, like throwing someone into the ocean and yelling, "Swim." Memory champions flip that script. They train their minds like elite athletes train their bodies, with structure, with strategy, with repetition that works. And the good news, you can do the same. Because memory isn't magic, it's muscle. You just haven't been shown how to flex it. Yet. Imagine being handed a list of 20 completely random objects. Carrot, mirror, balloon, toaster, giraffe, you name it. Most people panic. But memory champions? They smile, because they know the secret isn't memorization, it's location. Welcome to the Memory Palace, a 2,000-year-old technique used by Roman senators, Greek philosophers, and every modern-day memory athlete worth their medals. And the best part? It's stupidly fun. Here's how it works. Your brain is insanely good at remembering places. You could walk through your childhood home in vivid detail right now, right? So instead of cramming random words into your head, you turn your mind into a journey. Let's say your palace is your apartment. You start at the front door and assign each item from your list to a specific room or object. The weirder the image, the better. A giraffe in your bathtub, a balloon in your microwave, a carrot sticking out of your shoe rack. Now, instead of repeating the list over and over like a robot, you take a mental walk. Your memory becomes a story. This method changed how ancient civilizations shared epic tales. All right, it's time to stop just watching from the sidelines and start building your own personal memory machine. You're about to create a memory palace. And trust me, once you do, it's going to feel like discovering a cheat code for your brain. This is where memory transforms from something frustrating into something fun, almost magical. So let's dive in. Step 1 is simple. Choose a place you know like the back of your hand. It could be your childhood home, your favorite coffee shop, or even the layout of your local gym. The key here is familiarity. The more vividly you can picture it, the better. Every wall, corner, or couch is going to become a mental storage shelf. Next, you're going to pick a route, not a random one. Make it logical. Start from the front door and mentally walk through the space. Maybe it's front door, hallway, kitchen, living room, bathroom. This order is going to act like your brain's filing system. These locations become the fixed checkpoints where you'll store information later. Now here comes the fun part. Placing information. Let's say you need to memorize a grocery list. Boring, right? Not anymore. In your mind, don't just put the items somewhere. Go nuts. Imagine a salmon doing the moonwalk in your shower. Picture a loaf of bread wearing a superhero cape and diving off your bookshelf. Visual absurdity is your secret weapon. The stranger the image, the more your brain wants to remember it. That's how memory works. It thrives on the unexpected. But don't try to cram it all in at once. Instead, walk through your palace slowly, mentally strolling from room to room and observing the bizarre scenes you've created. Let them marinate. You'll be surprised how sticky these images become. That salmon in the shower? You'll be thinking about it all day, and probably never forget you need to buy fish again. And here's the coolest part. This isn't a one-time trick. You can build dozens of memory palaces. One for vocabulary, one for speeches, one for people's names, even entire chapters of books. Over time, Walking through these imagined places will feel second nature, like going home after a long day. Only now your home is filled with dancing fruit, flying dictionaries, and whatever else your brilliant brain can invent. So go ahead, build your palace, walk it, use it, and get ready for your memory to work for you instead of against you. You've just upgraded your brain's software. No downloads required. Now that you've got your palace built, let's turn it into a learning weapon. This is where the memory palace goes from party trick to life upgrade. Whether you're cramming for exams, learning a new language, or preparing a TED Talk, this tool works. For language learning, use your memory palace to store vocabulary. For example, pick one room for verbs, one for nouns, one for phrases. Assign vivid, exaggerated mental images to each word. Want to memorize the Spanish word for dog, perro? Picture a dog wearing a pirate hat saying perro in your hallway. Sounds silly? That's the point. Your brain remembers weird. For studying or exams, divide your memory palace by subject. Use different rooms for each chapter or concept. Place visual scenes that encode facts, like a skeleton studying bones in your bathroom for anatomy. When it's test time, walk through your palace and see your answers. For public speaking, assign each key point to a spot in your palace. Instead of memorizing your whole speech word for word, recall the images tied to each section. It's stress-proof and helps your delivery stay natural. The best part? It scales. You're not just learning faster, you're learning in layers with creativity, structure, and depth. By now, your brain's not just working, it's sprinting. But what if you could make it fly? In this session, we're dialing in on how to learn faster without turning your brain into scrambled eggs. First, forget the old school highlight and reread routine. It doesn't work. What does work? Active recall and spaced repetition, the two best friends of speed learners. Instead of just reviewing information, test yourself on it. Flashcards, self-quizzing, summarizing out loud. This forces your brain to retrieve the info, strengthening the memory every time. Chunking is your next weapon. Our brains love patterns, not clutter. Break large topics into smaller, bite-sized concepts. For example, if you're learning about the French Revolution, don't just memorize dates. Chunk it into causes, key players, major events, and consequences. It makes the chaos feel organized. Also, teach what you learn, even if you're talking to your cat. Explaining a concept out loud, in your own words, shows you truly understand it. Finally, watch your energy. Real speed learning isn't about cramming 10 hours straight. It's about focus sprints. 25-minute sessions with 5-minute breaks, aka the Pomodoro method. Your brain retains more when it rests and recovers. You're not just learning faster, you're learning smarter. Now that you know how to learn, let's build the engine that keeps it all running. Because the truth is, motivation fades, but systems stick. The people who actually get results, whether it's learning a language, mastering code, or becoming a top-tier marketer, aren't always more talented. They've just built learning into their daily routine so well, it runs on autopilot. So how do you do that? Start with your learning environment. Create a space that makes it easy to focus and hard to quit. Don't leave it to chance. Know when, where, and what you'll learn every day before the day even starts. Then gather your learning tools, whether that's a solid note-taking setup, an app to track your progress, or something as simple as a notebook that follows you everywhere. The key is consistency, not complexity. Layer your new habits onto things you already do. Review flashcards after brushing your teeth. Watch a tutorial while you sip coffee. These aren't hacks. They're how habits become identity. And once a week, pause and reflect. What's working? What needs to shift? Learning isn't just about content. It's about rhythm. Build that rhythm now, and you'll never fall behind again. All right, let's stop pretending we need 6 diplomas and a sabbatical in the Himalayas to learn something new. The 30-day sprint is your new secret weapon. One skill, 30 days, real progress, no fluff. And no, we're not talking learn to play Beethoven overnight unless you're secretly Mozart reincarnated. This is about structured, focused action. Day 1, Pick a skill and get weirdly specific. Not learn to cook, but nail 5 restaurant-quality pasta dishes without poisoning anyone. Now reverse engineer it. Break that skill into micro skills. Pasta requires boiling water without texting and burning down the kitchen. Got it? Great. Stack skills week by week. Keep your schedule tighter than your last Netflix binge. Even 30 minutes a day compounds fast, especially when you're not doom scrolling halfway through. Track your progress like your inner nerd depends on it. What worked? What flopped? What almost set off the fire alarm? And the kicker? Start before you're ready. Start before your ego finishes warming up. Publish that ugly first draft. Post that awkward first video. Show your work while it still has acne. Feedback beats perfection. By week 2, expect a crisis of confidence. That's your brain panicking because you're leveling up. Push through. By day 30, you'll look back and laugh at how much you've learned. This sprint isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming unstoppable. All right, let's get something straight. If your brain were a smartphone, most of us are walking around with 7% battery and 46 tabs open. But here's the good news. Memory isn't just about tricks. It's about treating your brain like the high-performance engine it actually is. And that starts with some good old daily habits. First up, sleep. No, not doom scrolling till 2 a.m. and calling it rest. We're talking deep, REM-rich sleep where your brain actually files memories away like a night shift librarian. Next, food. Your brain loves omega-3s. Think fish, walnuts, blueberries, hello antioxidants, and yes, hydration. That foggy-headed feeling might just be your brain begging for water, not another coffee. Then there's exercise. Even a brisk walk boosts BDNF, that's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a fancy way of saying your brain cells get buff. Add a sprinkle of meditation, and suddenly your brain stops juggling and starts focusing. Want a digital boost? Try Anki, memory games, or start journaling your memory palaces like you're building Hogwarts in your head. No miracle pills here, just smart habits. Build them, and your memory isn't just maintained. It levels up like a Jedi mind trick. Your future brain will thank you. Let's wrap this up with a truth bomb. You are not bad at memory. You were just never taught how to use it. Seriously, it's like expecting someone to drive a car without ever showing them where the steering wheel is. School taught you the periodic table, but not how to actually remember the periodic table. But now, you've got the tools. You've learned the same mental hacks used by memory champions. The palace, the peg system, associations, the works. You've been unlocking levels in your brain like it's a game. And spoiler alert, you're winning. And here's where it gets fun. Final challenge. Build your first 10-room memory palace. Not a literal mansion, don't worry. We're not calling a realtor. Just imagine a familiar space with 10 distinct spots. Now fill it. Could be a grocery list, your favorite quotes, or something spicy like your partner's Starbucks order with all the modifiers. Then, drop a comment telling us what you memorized. Was it a poem? A rap? Your boss's 37-digit Wi-Fi password? You've proven memory isn't magic, it's method. And now you've got it. So hit like, subscribe, and join us next time for deeper brain hacks. The mind is your playground now. Let's keep playing.